Good evening, world. It's Ivan Romero, 8 o'clock in the evening. I'll make a nice 1 hour video today. Sorry I didn't make a video early in the morning. I was tired. After I watched my video in the morning, I was tired and I didn't feel like making another video. I went to bed and I passed out till 8 o'clock. Yeah. Just woke up right now. So I'll make a 1 hour video and I'll end the video and I'll take my shower, go to the store, get my pack of smokes. And I'll come back and enjoy the show. Obviously. You guys better enjoy this Sing Series Wise for Cat Man. Because once I'm king, I'm taking off the throne with VJ and you're left behind, you're not saved. I keep saying that. Once I'm king, I'm taking off the throne with my wife. And you guys will not be saved. I keep saying that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Obviously. Who else? I'll talk about Sky Source as usual. I'll talk about Sky Source. And what? You guys hear the fan noise. Let me what? Let me do this real quick. Is that better? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my SkySys company, we the best company in the entertainment industry. Bigger than Disney Film Studios, Warner Bros., Universal, Paramount, Lionsgate. Bigger than all those companies. Is I'll be paying Hollywood actors way more money than how much Hollywood pays. Obviously, as I told you, I did the math today again. If a billion people buy my movie, Peter Jackson will make like $330 million in royalties. He'll make like his $400 million. Peter Jackson. Yeah, man, that's why my company will blow out of the water. If 700 million people buy my movie, Peter Jackson will make like 300. If a billion people buy my movie, Peter Jackson will make 330 million in royalties, excluding his $107 million salary. He's making a lot of money. Yeah, he made like if he strikes it rich, he made like $400 million. Chances are he will make 400. Yeah, Peter Jackson signed a $400 million deal. So when I say 300 million, I'm being humble. I'm assuming 700 million people buy it, but chances are more than 700 people buy it. Amazon's also in India. India has a billion people living there. Obviously, yeah, India has a billion people living there. You also have South America too. Yeah. Well, most people in India don't speak English. You see what I'm saying? So it cuts it down. Only a small percentage of people in India speak English. Like maybe 10% in India speak English. So it cuts it down. Maybe 100 million people in India will buy my 80, 50, 60 million people in India will buy my movie. Because not everyone in India speaks English. Is not an English. India is not an English country. Not everyone there speaks English. You know what I'm saying? South Africa, only a small minority of people there speak English too. As most people there speak Spanish. See what I'm saying? And to cut it down, yeah. Well, I'll be selling Zanes in Spanish language. Obviously. I mean, how much do you think Peter? I don't know. Peter Jackson will probably make maybe 280 maybe in royalties. The only way he'll make is 400 is if a billion people buy it, which something tells me a bit less than a billion are gonna buy it. Obviously, because you know what I'm saying, there's only 1.3 billion people in the world speak English. I'm only releasing my Zane's movie in what? And don't forget, Amazon's not in Africa. Amazon, I heard, is in a good like 4 or 5 countries in Africa or something like that. But I told you, most people in Africa don't understand English. So they don't understand English, they're not going to buy my movie. Because they don't understand it. You see what I'm saying? Sorry, guys, I can't release Zane's in all languages. I can't. Only a small percentage of people in the Middle East speak English, too. Most people in the Middle East speak their Arabic language. Arabic, Pakistani language, yeah. Ivan, what's the main place where you're gonna have the real buzz is Europe and North America and China and Japan and Korea and New Zealand, Australia. Those are the main places, as well as South America. South America, a lot of people in South America will buy a movie, obviously, but you know what I'm saying, yeah. And if a billion people buy a movie, Jon Favreau will make 100 million, $8 million in royalties. He'll make. Really, Ivan? Yes. And Jon Favreau signed like what? A 150 million deal. And so he'll make like 90 million after taxes. And Dave Filoni will make 50 million if a billion people buy my book. If 700 million people buy my book, Dave Filoni will make 30 million. If a billion people buy my book, Dave Filoni will make 50, which is 30 million after taxes, and he made like $13 million from the 4 years of Zanus. As Dave Filoni struck it rich. He made like $43 million after taxes. Dave Filoni, yeah, he struck it rich, obviously. Yeah. And all the actors for Zane's will make like, who are getting 001, they'll make like 5 million, 5.4 million, 5.5 million they'll make. Obviously, because guaranteed more than 700 will buy my book. Obviously, and it's what? It's John Boyega and all of them made what? Sign a fat contract, obviously. You sign a fat deal, like a $14.5 million deal, John Boyega signed. Yeah, I was right. But I told you, I don't know how much people around the world are going to buy a movie. I will know how much people will buy my movie based on how much money I make off my book. I can estimate how much people buy my movie. If I end up making more than $20 million, that means more than a billion people bought my movie. Obviously. And what? More than a billion people bought my movie. Obviously, if I make more than $20 billion. Let's say if I make $30 billion off my book, I will know that more than a billion people bought my movie. If I make less than 20, I know less than a billion people bought my movie. You know what I'm saying? But for my book, I'm only releasing it in English. Hence why you're only looking at North America and like Europe. Because all the people in China, all the people in China and all that, only the people who speak English in China will buy my book. Only the people in Africa who speak English will buy my book. Obviously, they can all buy my ebook, obviously. Because ebook, you don't have to worry about shipping. Hence, most people are going to buy my ebook. All the people in India who speak English will most likely buy my book too. And that's why you're looking at maybe 800, 900 million people buying it. But there's some people who might buy my book, you know what I'm saying? And what? They might buy my book. And they might buy my book and share the file. Some people might do that, right? So I might cut it down. Just like for my movie, it's gonna be a bit less because most people in the world have families. So if they have families, all the family only needs to buy one movie. You see what I'm saying? Like not everyone in the house is gonna buy the movie. No, they're gonna buy one movie and that's it. You have a family of 4, family of 5, family of 6. You know what I'm saying? Your parents, all you guys, your parents will buy the movie. Or if you live on your own, you buy the movie yourself. Obviously, if you have a roommate, only one of you guys will buy the movie. See what I'm saying? It cuts it down. Or some people might go see the movie at their grandma's house. But all those who live on their own will buy my movie, obviously, because they want to have a copy of the movie when after what. after they finish watching, you guys don't want to rewatch it again. With all the people who have family members who are in a relationship who are families, you guys are all going to buy one movie, obviously. And it cuts it down to like 700, 800, 900 million people. But don't forget, the majority of the world do not speak English. I'm only releasing my movie in like 6 languages. And you're probably looking at about a billion people, 900 million people buy my movie around there. It's all these actors. Jon Favreau's going to make his like $100 million in royalties, guys. He signed a massive contract. Yeah, man. You're being here with your Jens. Yes, the reason why I miss Jens because I don't want Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni them to be angry because if I don't give them a piece of the pie, now that I know I'm gonna make more money, because before I thought I'd only be making like $4 or $5 billion. Hence why I'm like no one's getting a piece of my royalty. When I did the math and I found out that I'm gonna make like 70, 80 billion, even 90 billion off of Zayn's and the merch. But billion people buy a movie, I'm gonna make like 90 billion off the movie and the merch, man. 85 billion, 90 billion off the movie and merch. I'll make 80, 84, 85, 90 billion me and Vijay will make off the movie and merch. Amazon will make probably about 40 billion. Yeah. So even though I'm giving Amazon 30%, they're still striking it rich. As if a billion people buy my movie, Amazon will make Amazon will make like 40 billion bucks, man. And me and Vijay will make like 90. Amazon make maybe 38, and I'll make like 90 billion, 88 billion. Me and VJ make like 88, 87 billion. Amazon will make like 38 billion around there. So even though me and VJ are taking way more money than them, they strike it rich. Amazon made like 38, 37 million dollars for the pie. Yeah, they struck it rich. I gave Jeff Bezos a deal of a lifetime. Live, it's a deal. I'm saying like 30% of what we're making for your company is more than 50% of what we're making for any other company. Yeah, it's more. But our 4K Blu-ray movies and merch will be Amazon's #1 seller, obviously. And so I'm going to boost the stock of Amazon. Amazon will become the biggest company. I believe Amazon is the biggest company in the world. I don't think any company is bigger than Amazon. Amazon's bigger than Apple. They're bigger than Disney. They're bigger than Warner Bros. They're bigger than Paramount. They're bigger than Lionsgate. They're bigger than all those companies. Amazon, they have their studio division where they make their movies and television shows, and they also have their distribution division. I'm signing with the Amazon distribution division. I'm not signing with the studio. No, I don't need to sign with the studio. Me and VJ have our own studio. We can fund the movies ourselves. I'm signing with the Amazon distribution company. And the Amazon CEO's live, and it's a deal, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jon Favreau will make $108 million in royalties, guys, after taxes. $108 million before taxes if a billion people buy my movie. You see what I'm saying? They'll make more. And if more than a billion people buy my movie, if 1.1, 1.2 billion people buy my movie, Jon Favreau will make even more. He'll make like $130 million in royalties. With his $15 million, and he'll walk away with like $100 million in his bank after taxes. $100 million richer. And John Boyega and all of them will make like $7, $8 million in royalties. And Ariana Grande will make closer to like $30 million in royalties, $28 million in royalties. Yeah, they all signed massive contracts. I'd be being just, yes, even though I'm being generous, obviously, the amount of money they made is pocketing compared to how me and VJ made. See what I'm saying? But all the actors are going to strike it rich. How much people buy a movie? I don't know. My guess is probably about a billion people, maybe 700 million to a billion people, because most people in India and the country and South America don't speak English. Obviously, Amazon's in India, obviously, but most people in India don't understand English. So if they don't understand English, they're not going to buy my movies. You know what I'm saying? Because they won't understand it, obviously. You know what I'm saying? I'm only releasing Zayn's in like 6 languages. That's it. I don't want to put stress on the guys. I can't release in 200 languages. That's crazy. No, I can only release it in like 6 languages, and only like 10% of people in India speak English. And India has a billion people living there. So what? So about maybe 50 million people in India will buy my movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, obviously, because Jon Favreau and them are gonna strike it rich. They're gonna strike it rich, man. Yeah. Me and VJ are gonna make like, I don't know, 70 to like 80, 85 billion dollars. My guess is probably about a billion people will buy it. A billion people will buy my movie. Obviously. If they do, me and VJ will make like 88 billion. $89 billion around there, and Amazon will make like their $39 billion in royalties. Something crazy. 35 billion royalties maybe. 36 billion, and we need to take like 88 billion. Amazon signed a massive contract, yeah, and Jon Favreau will make like $8 million in royalties. If 700 million people buy a movie, Jon Favreau will make like 66, 70 million in royalties. If a billion people buy a movie, Jon Favreau will make 100 million in royalties. Jon Favreau. And Dave Filoni will make 50, and all on all what? Don Cheadle will make like his I don't know, 14, 15 million in royalties, 16 million in royalties will make Don Cheadle. As he signed a massive like $26 million deal, yeah. And then Idris Elba will make like maybe like 11, 12, 13 million royalties. Ariana Grande will make like 20, like 25 million royalties. Yeah, she signed like a $30 million deal if it played a Groupon movie. And Ariana Grande walked away with a lot of money. But she's walking away with like a $14 million check in her bank. $15 million check in her bank. Yeah, they all signed massive contracts. Yvonne Joji will make closer to what? Yvonne Joji and John Boyega will make like $5-6 million in royalties. 0.01%. Yeah, they all signed massive contracts. Yeah, high chance of Yvonne Joji signed like a $10 million deal. Obviously, and because Yvonne Joji is Canadian, he gets his full Canadian money. $10 million after taxes is $6.3 million. His agent takes 10% of that, and so Yvonne Joji is walking away with like a $5 million check in his bank after taxes and rates. It's guaranteed. I'm gonna be honest here. Guaranteed, a billion people are gonna buy my movie. 700 million people is me being humble. Most likely, a billion people are gonna buy my movie. Yvonne Joji is walking with like a 5.5 million plus check in his bank, and John Boyega is walking with about the same amount of money because you have the rates right. And yeah, John Boyega is walking with like his 5.5 million check in his bank too. Obviously, 5 million check plus in his bank, John Boyega. But John Boyega will make less for the royalties because he lives in London. Because he lives in London, you have the rates. You have the rates, obviously. You have the rates. I told you, I don't know how much people are gonna buy my movie. Europe has about 1 billion people living there, so my guess is a good maybe 400 million people in Europe will buy my movie. Because most people have families, guys, so it cuts it down. It cuts it down. You see what I'm saying? Most people in the world live with families. The only people who are going to buy the movie on their own are the people who live on their own. But most people around the world don't live on their own. Most people in the world have families or they have roommates. So they have families. Only one person will buy the movie. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so I don't know. 400 million people in Europe buy my movie. 12 million people in Canada buy my movie. Canada has 40 million people. Maybe 12, 13 million people in Canada buy a movie. The States has 300 million people. Maybe 80 million people in America will buy a movie because most people have families. And in South America, they have 400 million people living there. Maybe what? 70 million people there, 80 million, 90 million people there will buy a movie. That's like already what? That's like 600 million. And you have India, you have China. China has 1 billion people. My guess is what? My guess is maybe what? A couple hundred. Yeah, man, more than 1 billion people are going to buy my movie, man. It wasn't crazy. Perhaps even more. I'm being humble here, man. Perhaps even 1.3 billion people. If 1.3 billion people buy a movie, Jon Favreau will make like 60 million in royalties around there. And Peter Jackson will make close to 500 million. Yeah. Peter Jackson signed a massive contract, man. And John, if like 1.3 billion people buy my movie, John Boyega and all of them will make their 10 plus million royalties around there. Something crazy. 0.01, yeah, and Don Cheadle will make like, Idris Elba will probably make like 20 million royalties, and Ariana Grande will make like 30 million royalties, 28 million royalties, something crazy. Yeah, these actors all signed massive contracts. All right, when you're being a bit too generous, look, guys, even though these actors are gonna strike it rich, it's pocket change compared to how much movie made, obviously. But I'm being humble here. I'm assuming maybe 700 million people to 1 billion people are gonna buy my movie. The chances are more people will buy a movie. If 1.3 billion people buy my movie, John Boyega and all of them are going to make like 10 million royalties. Around there. 10 million royalties. And what? Andy Serkis and all will make 10 million. If 1 billion people buy it, they'll make like 5.56. Whereas if like 1.2, 1.3 million people buy it, they're gonna make their like 10 million royalties, 0.01%. It's a lot of money, man. You know what I'm saying? And what? And Jon Favreau will make like his one like 50 million, 160 million royalties. If 1.3 billion people buy a movie, Jon Favreau will make like one like 120, 130 million royalties. Dave Filoni will make his like 70 million royalties. Something crazy. Yeah, so I'm right. Scarlett Johansson and Ben Affleck are gonna make, because guaranteed more than a billion people are gonna buy a movie. I'm just being humble here. Probably 1.2, 1.3 billion maybe. Scarlett Johansson and Ben Affleck are gonna make like their like 60, 70 million royalties. And Keanu Reeves will make like his 100, like I don't know. He'll make his 100 plus million, man. His 100 like 20 million maybe, Keanu Reeves. In royalties, excluding his one. Yeah, Keanu Reeves signed probably like a $180 million deal. And Scarlett Johansson and probably signed like 70, like a $120 million deal. So when I said 80, 90 million, I was being humble, man. Because I'm assuming 700 million people are gonna buy my movie. But chances are more than that, more than 700 million people buy my movie. You're probably looking at a billion, man. A billion, a billion two perhaps. You know what I'm saying? I'll see how much money I make off my book and I'll know how much people. If I make more than 20 billion off my book, I'll know that more than a billion people bought my book. If I make under 20, like 18, I know less than a billion people bought my book. See what I'm saying here? And it's what? Yeah. Look at something crazy. Here's the thing. Everyone around the world will want to watch my movies. I'm saying even the foreign world will want to watch me. But I told you, I'm not releasing my book in every single language. And Amazon is not in the Middle East, and they're only in like 5 countries in Africa, and that's it, man. As Africa will not be able to watch my movie. They'll be pissed off, obviously, and all the people in the Middle East will not be able to watch my movie. The only way they'll be able to watch my movie is if they travel to other countries, and they can buy the movie and watch it there, and they'll tell us about that. You see what I'm saying? But I'm being humble here. I'm assuming maybe 700 million people to a billion. Let's say a billion people buy my movie. Jon Favreau will make 100 million royalties. And Keanu Reeves will make his $100 million in royalties too. If a billion people buy a movie, Keanu Reeves will make his $190 million in royalties. He'll make $100 million. And then Jon Favreau will make like his what? His like, for The Great Escape, he'll make like his 80, maybe million royalties. For Zanes, he'll make his like 100. Because why? Because I'm pricing Zanes for more money. So I'm saying, because I'm pricing Zanes for 160, me and VJ will make more profit off the movie, obviously. With all my other movies after Zanes, I'm pricing for $100. $100, 99.99. Whereas Zanes is the most expensive because I'm selling it in a box and I'm pricing for 160. That's a good deal for you guys. $149. That's why Jon Favreau signed a massive contract. Dave Filoni signed. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson them were most likely going to make. Me saying them making $30 million is me being humble. Chances are they're going to make their like $50 million in royalties. Scarlett Johansson and what? And Ben Affleck, 50, maybe perhaps 60 million royalties are going to make. Because you're looking, guaranteed a billion people are going to buy my movie. Obviously. Because you have a billion people living in China too, don't forget that, man. China has a billion people. So you're probably looking at maybe 300 million people in China ordering my movie too. 300, 400 million people in China. Yeah, that's 1 billion plus. Yeah, you do the math. Yeah, man. Peter Jackson's gonna make like 400 plus million dollars, man. 450, perhaps even 500 million he'll make, man. You know, you're being a bit too generous. Yeah, I'm being generous, but like I told you, even video, you're being a bit too generous, man. Like I'm saying, Peter Jackson signed like his 450. $500 million deal, like, you know, and saying you're paying Peter a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, BJ, even though Peter Jackson's making a lot of money, it's not worth our royalties. We're gonna make, I don't know, our $90 billion off the movie. It doesn't hurt to give Peter Jackson the actors a small tiny piece of the pie. That way they work harder for you. And that way your company blows high out of the water. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If like 1.3, 1.4 billion people buy a movie, Peter Jackson will make like he'll make what? It'll make like 500 plus $550 million in royalties, man. Something crazy. 600 million Peter Jackson will make? Something crazy, man. Yeah. Peter Jackson strike it rich. And Mel Gibson will make like $450 million. Yeah. If a billion plus people. But chances are probably about a billion people buying a movie. Peter Jackson will make his $400 plus million for my movie. Hence why he'll work hard and he'll completely destroy the role as a director. Guillermo del Toro will make probably what, like 10 million in royalties, 8 million in royalties, it's 5 million royalties. Sorry, if a billion people buy a movie, Guillermo del Toro will make like 5 million royalties, 5.5 million royalties. Guillermo del Toro signed like almost a $7 million deal for assistant director. That's a nice paycheck for assistant director. You're like, oh, that's a deal. That's a good deal because he knows he's gonna strike it rich. He's gonna make a couple $1 million for my movie, which is nice, and he got his $1 million paycheck, which is nice for assistant director. Because he's big, I'll pay him $1 million, but like I'm not paying him any more than that. If he wants like five, my government told him, I'm not gonna pay you five, man. You're an assistant director. I'm not gonna pay you a rich fucking salary, a crazy rich salary. No, you're an assistant director. I'm not gonna pay you as much, but pay him a lot of money. That way, he works hard for you. Guillermo del Toro. He works hard. You see what I'm saying? The way he works hard. Yeah, man. Peter Jackson signed a massive like $400+ million deal, man. That's if a billion people buy a movie. If more than a billion people buy a movie, Peter Jackson will make like 500 million. 450, 500 million Peter Jackson will make. Yeah, Mel Gibson will make his hundreds of millions too. All the Zane's actors are going to be striking even richer. John Boyega will make closer to 8, 9, 10 million royalties even if more people buy it. It just depends on how much people buy it, obviously. My point is, all the actors of Zane's are going to strike it very, very rich. They're all going to make like their what? They're 5+ million in their bank, man. 4+ million in the bank. They're all gonna have, man, after taxes and the royalties and after taxes, the rates with the royalties and salaries and bonuses. Yeah, they're all gonna strike it rich. Jon Favreau's gonna make his $100 million in royalties, man. $108 million in royalties after my say this movie, and that excludes his $50 million that he made for what? $50 million that he made during the 4 years. Yeah, his Jon Favreau will have what? He'll have like 90 million in his bank after taxes. He'll be like $100 million richer after Zanus. After Zanus, he'll be $100 million richer. Jon Favreau. I'm giving him a good deal, yeah. Obviously. But this is what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see how much money I made. I'm gonna see how much money, because I don't want these actors to rip me off. I'm gonna see how much money I made. I'm gonna see how much money I made off what? Off the book. If I end up making like $40 billion off my Zane's book or something like that, I will know that more than 1 billion people bought. I don't know, 1.4 billion people bought my book. I'm going to what? I might perhaps not give the actors a piece of the royalties because I don't want these actors to rip me off. Because it's one thing for me to give you small pieces of pie, but there's nothing worse than you making. You made so much money. And like I know what I'm saying, and this like small ace actor took like I don't know $25 million in royalties. You see what I'm saying? And then Jon Favreau took $150 million in royalties. And I was like, no, I can give them a piece of royalties, but like there's nothing worse than you making I don't know $90 million and Jon Favreau took like $160 million in royalties. He made his money like so easy like that. You know what I'm saying? And Peter Jackson, all right, you're being a bit too generous. The only one I will give a piece of the royalties are like Mel Gibson and Peter Jackson because they're fucking big people. I can give maybe I might reduce Jon Favreau's royalties maybe 0.1 or something like that instead of 0.2. And I can give Dave Filoni maybe 0.09 instead of 0.01 or something like that. You can do that if you want. That way you have balance, obviously, but I mean, it's all good. I can give John a 0.2 because even though he's gonna make a lot of money, even if Jon Favreau makes $130 million, $40 million off my movie, it's still pocket change for how much movies you made. Plus, he's a CEO. He's the CEO of your Sky Source company, biggest from branding entity. You need to pay him an unheard amount of money, way more than how much these execs in Hollywood make. You see what I'm saying? But I told you, I don't know how much people are gonna buy my movie, man. Like, what if it's more than 1.4? You know what I'm saying? Like, the movies are gonna make $100+ billion. You see what I'm saying? And the actors, yeah, is him there. But guaranteed Keanu Reeves will make his $100 million. Guaranteed. Because something tells me a billion people are going to buy a movie. And Scarlett Johansson and all of them are going to make their $50 million in royalties at least. At least 45, 50 million in royalties are going to make. They signed massive deals. Yeah, like a $90 million deal. They signed. And Keanu Reeves signed his $60 million deal. Perhaps even more. Perhaps even 180. If 1.2, 1.3 boom by Keanu Reeves will make like 120 million in royalties. So you sign a massive contract, obviously, but I told you, even though they sign massive contracts, it's nothing about how much me and VJ are going to make. As I told you, me and VJ are going to make are like 69 to like 80, I don't know, 88, $89 billion for fucking Zanus in the movie, man. Something crazy, man. Amazon will make their 38 billion around there, 37 billion they'll make. Yeah, around there, right? 37 billion. Me region make like 88 billion. If a billion people buy it, we'll make like 88 billion around there. 80, 87, and then Amazon will make like 37 billion, 38 billion for the movies and merch. They made a lot of money, obviously. But I guarantee if you'd be like, Ivan, you're being a bit too generous. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ivan, you're looking at the whole world buying our movie, Ivan. We have the keys. You know what I'm saying? You're being a bit too generous giving all these big ASAC with 0.1, Ivan. Like, they're going to strike it so rich. Like, VJ, you're being greedy. Like, me and you are going to make our Tencent planes. The amount of money they're making is pocket change VJ compared to how much VJ made. Even if Peter Jackson makes $500 million, it's pocket change compared to how much me and VJ made. You see what I'm saying here? You know what I'm saying? But man, Peter Jackson's going to strike it rich, man. If a billion people buy a movie, Peter Jackson will make like $320 million in royalties, excluding his $107 million salary. He signed the biggest contract ever Peter Jackson signed in Hollywood history, a $400 million deal. I said $300 million. That's if 700 people will buy it. If a billion people buy it, he'll make like $400 million Peter Jackson for my movie, which is $240 million after taxes. And then don't forget, you also have the New Zealand rates. That's like $450. Yeah, it's Peter Jackson's walking away with like a $200+ million check in his bank. A $220 million check in his bank he's walking away with. Peter Jackson after the 4 years of Zanus. More money than how much he made for Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, he only made like about $100 million after taxes. So he made $100 million more for my movie. And so work harder for me, obviously. Peter Jackson made $180 for Lord of the Rings. Obviously, he made $180 for Lord of the Rings. And after taxes, that's like $100 million he made. $180 million in American money, which is like 220 in New Zealand money. Peter Jackson made probably about $10 million for Lord of the Rings for the 3 movies. He made $180 million for the 3 movies. So he took, 2% of the profits for each of the 3 movies, and he made like $180 million for the 3 movies, Peter Jackson. Yeah. So for each movie Peter Jackson made is what? He made like his 60 million bucks per movie, Peter Jackson, in royalties. He struck it rich, obviously, but it's not the kind of money he's making for my movie. He might even make 500 million people. More than 1 billion people buy, he'll make his 500 million. He'll make his $500 million, Peter Jackson. You know what I'm saying? He might even make more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You might even make more. Something crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah. If 1 billion+ people buy me and VJ's movies, me and VJ are going to make that 100 billion range for the movie, for the movie. Around there. For the movie alone, we'll make another 100 billion for the merch. And so we'll make like, what? Yeah. Well, no, sorry. We'll make like 100 billion